In attendance, it was on. Both virtually and in person for tonight's board meeting. I'd like to reconvene the Community Unit School District D300 Board of Education Tuesday, December 2024. Secretary, please take the roll.
Burkett, present. Tarantino. Lamarca.
Present.
McKindy. Scarpino. Thomas.
Present.
Zettler.
Present.
You have 6 board members present.
Thank you. Dr. Smith.
There we go. At this time, I'd like to invite Principal Jennifer Nolan from Hampshire Elementary School and her students to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Aww.
Parents and guardians, please know family members, if you would like to take photos or videos, feel free to come forward and do so.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Smith. My name is Jen Nolan, excuse me, and I am the proud principal of Hampshire Elementary School. And tonight, I am pleased to introduce you to 8 of our students that have been recognized for excellent citizenship and leadership at HES. So we have Adriana Marchand. You can wave, Adriana. Annika Barr, Parker Cloyda, Clara Todd, Mason Sawyer, Lexi Carnes, Mariano Perez, and Max Mucci. And at this time, we're going to turn and face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing your kids. You can stay for the entire meeting if you want to, but you don't have to. So. Oh, okay. Okay. Dr. Smith. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's been a change to the agenda. Item 9, public participation, has been moved to after the superintendent report. Therefore, board announcements will be item 9 and superintendent report item 10 and public participation item 11. In addition, we are removing item 15.1 from the agenda also. Do I have does anybody have any objections to the changes to the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the changed agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Can Ms. Secretary please take the roll?
Lamarca.
Aye.
Ferentino.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Thomas.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Dr. Smith.
Members of the Board of Education, community members, staff, and students, we would like to acknowledge the passing of a district staff member. District 300 would like to honor Keith Westmoreland, a teacher at Dundee Crown High School, who passed away Saturday, September 14, 2024. Mr. Westmoreland will forever be missed, and District 300 would like to offer deep condolences to his family and friends. At this time, I respectfully ask all in attendance to observe a moment of silence for Mr. Westmoreland. Thank you. Recognition, I'll keep going. For tonight's student recognition, I'd like to invite Mrs. Kelly Manalfi, Assistant Superintendent of Schools for High Schools, to the podium to share details about the fall academic recognition for Hampshire High School. Then Kelly will introduce Hampshire High School Principal, Dr. Patrick Hardy.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Smith, community members. We are very excited tonight to recognize academic scholars from Hampshire High School. Some of these students are here for a single recognition, while others are here for multiple recognitions. Before proceeding with the recognitions, I'd like to provide an overview of the awards. The SAT award is granted to, the SAT Stars Award is granted to students who score a composite of 1,400 or higher on the SAT out of a total 1,600 points. This is a two-part assessment with evidence-based reading and writing and mathematics. Additionally, we have a number of AP scholars. AP scholars are broken down into three distinctions: AP scholars with honor, and AP scholars with distinction. The AP Scholar Award is granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. The AP Scholar with Honor Award is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.25 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams. And finally, the AP Scholar with Distinction Award is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. These are all outstanding accomplishments in categories. Over the past several years, we continue to have a growing AP Capstone program. The AP Capstone Diploma is granted to our students who earn scores of 3 or higher in AP Seminar and AP Research, and on 4 additional AP exams of their choosing. The AP Seminar and Research Certificate is granted to students who earn scores of 3 or higher in both AP Seminar and AP Research. This year, Hampshire High School does have 2 National Merit semifinalists. Of over 1.6 million entries, only 16,000 of the highest scores are recognized as National Merit semifinalists in September from the PSAT and MSQT given in the fall of their junior year. Finally, College Board now has a national recognition program called Big Future that honors underrepresented students for their achievements. Hampshire High School has many students who have applied and qualified for the National Hispanic Recognition Award, the National First Generation Recognition Award, the National African American Recognition Award, the National Indigenous Recognition Award, or the National Rural and Small Town Award. Students who qualify for this recognition must have a GPA of 3.5 or higher and must score the top 10% of test takers within the program in Illinois on the PSAT and MSQT or the PSAT 10, or have earned a score of 3 or higher on 2 or more distinct AP exams in the eligible exam periods. Many of the students who have earned recognition tonight are heavily involved beyond academics, with extracurricular activities and other commitments and obligations. Not all of our students were able to make it tonight. Please know that we are proud of all of our students for these accomplishments. At this time, I'd like to welcome the Hampshire High School Principal, Dr. Patrick Hardy, to the podium to honor these students from Hampshire High School.
One more round of applause for some of the best students D300 will ever produce. Good evening, Board of Education members, Superintendent Smith, families, and guests. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize some of Hampshire High School's brightest scholars. These exceptional students have demonstrated remarkable dedication, perseverance, and academic excellence. Each student exemplifies what hard work and passion for learning can achieve. They have excelled and continue to excel in their studies, and they stand as inspirations for the host of whippers that will follow them. Their success offers a collective message to all of us tonight, and it's very simple. Aim high. It is an honor to celebrate their achievements with you here tonight. Students, please step forward when I call your name, and then step back after I name your awards. Michaela Amagas, AP Scholar. Evan Bronca, AP Scholar with Distinction. Joseph Driscoll, SAT Stars, National Merit Semifinalist. Cole Klawakowski, AP Scholar, AP Seminar and Research Certificate. Faith Leah, she'll stay a while. SAT Stars, AP Scholar with Distinction, AP Capstone Diploma. Thank you. Elena Lindmark, AP Scholar with Distinction. Noel Mallow, SAT Stars, AP Scholar, AP Seminar and Research Certificate, National Merit Semifinalist. Glenn Mangera, AP Seminar and Research Certificate. Ashley Moore, AP Scholar, AP Capstone Diploma. Cassidy Papa, AP Scholar with Honors and AP Seminar and Research Certificate. Jaden Romero, AP Scholar, National Rural and Small Town Recognition Award. Benjamin Shirani, AP Scholar. Jack Sheets, AP Scholar, SAT Stars. Brandon Takasakas. Did I get it? My man. AP Scholar, National Rural and Small Town Recognition Award. Ava Terry, AP Scholar. Olivia Waldo, AP Scholar and AP Seminar and Research Certificate. Jonathan Wan, currently a student at EC. SAT Stars. Cynthia Liu, AP Scholar with Distinction. Please congratulate these wonderful students. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you again, Board of Education. Turn around. I'm going to ask them if you wouldn't mind turning around. You can go behind.
Go behind. Go behind.
Congrats. So proud of you. Congrats. So proud of you. Congrats. Congrats. So proud of you. So proud of you.
I know.
So proud of you.
Parents, thank you so much for all the hard work you do with your kids. And thank you again, kids. You guys did a great job.
For tonight's, let's give them one more round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, parent. For tonight's staff recognition, we will be celebrating Human Resource Professional Day and Translation Day. On September 26th, District 300 will celebrate Human Resource Professional Day to recognize the outstanding work of our HR professionals. They manage a range of responsibilities from navigating employment laws and recruiting staff to fostering positive workplaces and providing ongoing support. Their commitment to District 300's strategic plan goal 3 by developing great staff and leaders supports employee growth and well-being. By providing resources and professional development, our HR team helps staff reach their full potential. On behalf of District 300, thank you to our HR professionals for their invaluable contributions to our Translation Day. On September 30th, District 300 will celebrate International Translation Day, a chance to thank our dedicated translators, interpreters, and family school liaisons. They play a crucial role in bridging the gap between our diverse families and the educational opportunities we offer. By breaking down language barriers, they ensure every family feels informed and welcome, contributing to equitable access to education for all students. On behalf of District 300, let's celebrate the vital work for these professionals whose efforts greatly impact student success and strengthen our communities. Welcome, Mr. Mora. We celebrated Human Resource Professional Day.
So, item 8, public hearings, fiscal year 2024, 2025 budget. May I have a motion to open the public hearing for the FY 2024-2025 budget?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
McKindy, Burkett, aye. Zettler.
Aye.
Lamarca. Aye. Thomas.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And now Ms. Porter will provide a brief overview of the 2024-2025 budget.
Good evening, Superintendent Smith, members of the board, staff, and committee members. The mission statement of District 300 is to provide engaging and inclusive educational experiences that empower and equip all students to discover, innovate, and succeed now and in the future. This, along with our vision statement to empower and equip each student to reach their highest potential, is the focus of our educational plan, or better known as the budget. The budget development process contains 4 building blocks. Maintain current programs and services that are provided to our students, address critical needs that have emerged as a result of the pandemic or other data points, prioritize strategic investments and initiatives as outlined in the district strategic plan, enhancements for student learning and opportunities in alignment with evidence-based funding. The tentative budget is based upon revenue and expenditure assumptions. As you can see here, part of what the budget revenue is made up of are property taxes. We have levy year from last year. That levy year for this year is coming up sooner than you guys know. We'll be talking about it soon. The interest is based on projected fund balances utilizing our cash flow projections. And for the 3rd year, the board approved waiving registration fees. We expect a reduction in corporate personal replacement taxes of 27% as a result of changes that have affected the state's business environment and tax base. We have an increase of $6.4 million in evidence-based funding, and other state revenue has increased by $2.9 million as a result of our transportation claim. And as we have talked about before, our federal funding has increased due to the sunset of ESSER funding. The operating revenue budget is $369.7 million. As you can see in blue, 66% is derived from local revenue, such as property tax revenue and interest earned. 27.5% is provided by the state, consisting of evidence-based funding, transportation and special ed claims, and early childhood grants. The remaining 6.5% is made up of food, service revenue from the National School Lunch Program, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act grants, Medicaid reimbursement, and Title I allocations. Our expenditure assumptions are as follows. Salaries are per negotiated agreements. Health insurance remain relatively flat. Tuition outplace, we have a projected increase of 5%. Charter school payment, we have an increase of 4%. Transportation and food services are also by further contracts. Sanitation, water, and sewer is a 4% increase. General liability and workers' comp is at 3.5%. And then I built in an inflation factor of 3.5% for supplies and fuel. The operating expenditure budget is $368 million. 65.6% of these expenditures are made up of salaries and benefits, which are showed in blue and red respectively. 18.3 is targeted for purchase services, including transportation, meal, and substitute service providers, along with our charter school payment. The remaining amount is made up of supplies, capital outlay, and other objects, such as special education outplacement tuition. 3.9% is shown for other uses, which is a budgeted fund balance transfer of $12 million from operation and maintenance to capital projects, and a $2.5 million transfer from operation and maintenance to operating debt certificate payments. Historically, we have utilized annual operating surpluses to fund needed capital projects to keep our debt in check. Our operating funds cover day-to-day operation expenses and activities. The operating budget is balanced with a projected $1.8 million surplus. Our financial strategies include providing programs and services to meet current and future student needs while maintaining an annual balanced operating budget. Our operating fund balance at the end of fiscal year 25 is expected to be at 34.9%, which meets the board policy requiring us to keep at least 30% of our expenses in reserve. This ensures we can pay all of our bills on time. Looking at all funds, including the debt fund, which is designated to pay off all of our bonded debt, and the capital projects fund, which funds long-term improvements for the 24-25 budget, includes $402.8 million in revenues and $400.5 million in expenditures, which results in a budgeted surplus of all our funds of $2.3 million. This budget includes major initiatives that target student support, curriculum enhancement, technology upgrades, and capital projects as designated in the master facility plan. The district's financial health is as strong as it has been. However, we must remain diligent to ensure long-term stability and sustainability. Key challenges are inflation and their economy, continued student growth on the west side of the district, state legislative changes, and funding levels. Despite potential challenges, District 300 remains committed to maintaining financial health and ensuring the best outcome for our students. By staying diligent and proactive, we can navigate these things and continue to provide high-quality education. Later tonight, you will be asked to adopt the 24-25 budget. By state statute, the district will file this budget, the adopted budget with required entities, and the budget will be posted on the district's website. I'll include the hearing with the district's tagline, Discover, Innovate, and Succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. As Ms. Porter said, we will be voting on the approval of the 2024-2025 budget later in the meeting under roll call items. We have one person who has signed up to speak, Mr. Tennis. Thank you.
My name is Mike Tennis from Sleepy Hollow. The administration is proposing to spend over $400 million. Actual spending last year was $369 million. Before approving over a $31 million increase, the board members understand what is driving an 8.5% increase. Enrollment is probably up less than 1% or 200 students. Why the significant increase in spending? About 24 million, or almost 90% of the increase, is proposed for education funds, capital outlays, as well as operations and maintenance. Before board members approve a $16.8 million or 6.1% increase in education funds to over $293 million, ask these questions. How much are salaries up because of negotiated union agreements, more faculty, and more staff? How much are salaries up because of added administrative personnel at central office and among the administrations at schools? If benefit costs were 44 million last year, and the largest component of benefit costs are for health insurance, which is assumed to be flat, why propose a 16.8 million or 6.1% increase in education fund spending? Before board members approve a 4.9 million, 35% increase in capital projects to 19.1 million, did you remember authorizing over 14 million last year? Ask these questions. Why authorize capital expenditures of over $33 million in a 2-year period following a major expenditure for Big Timber Elementary a couple years ago? Why the continued growth in capital expenditure when capacity utilization at several schools is at 60% or less? Wouldn't a shift in spending to the classroom be more prudent to raise student reading and math proficiencies? What is the status of the federal ESSER funds of 35.9 million that went into learning renewal and included 9.2 million for air quality and HVAC improvements? The third area of spending growth is 2.3 million, or a 10% increase in operations and maintenance, where taxpayers were charged 36.5 million this past fiscal year, and yet only 22.7 million was spent. The administration is now proposing 14.5 million to be transferred primarily to the capital fund. Board members really believe it is necessary to maintain a capital fund balance at $40.7 million year over year? Why not reduce the O&M levy and lower the capital fund balance? As elected officials, please challenge the administration's proposed spending. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to comment regarding the 2024-2025 budget? Hearing none, at this time, we are closing the public hearing. May I have a motion to close the public hearing for the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget?
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
McKindy,
Aye.
Tarantino,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Lamarca. Aye. Zettler,
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Moving on to item 9, board announcements.
District 300 receives certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, or GFOA, has awarded its certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting to District 300. The certificate recognizes the district's annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year that ended in June 2023. The GFOA found that the financial report clearly communicates the district's financial story and motivates potential users to read the report. This is the 17th consecutive year District 300 has received the certificate. Congratulations to Chief Financial Officer Porter and the finance team for its continued achievement.
District 300 invites families to the Hispanic Heritage Month event. District 300 will host the Hispanic Heritage Month event on Thursday, October 10th at Carpentersville Middle School. Families are invited to attend the celebration, which will feature live music, food trucks, crafts, and performances. To learn more about the event, please visit the calendar section at d300.org.
Parents and guardians invited to submit note of appreciation. Parents and guardians can once again recognize outstanding District 300 staff members this school year through the Note of Appreciation program. Details about the program, as well as a link to the Note of Appreciation submission form, are available by visiting the news section at d300.org. Note of appreciation submissions can recognize teachers, paraeducators, school nurses, lunchroom staff, custodians, coaches, any District 300 employee who has made a positive impact on the student. Our staff members truly value being acknowledged for their work through this program.
Jacobs High School celebrates 2024 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. District 300 congratulates the Jacobs High School Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2024. The following 4 inductees, pictured here from left, were recognized on September 13th. Clint Reeves from the class of 2000, Laura Somerville from the class of 2001, Joe Stevenson, who was inducted as a friend of Jacobs High School athletes for his work as a sports reporter, and Craig Wojcik from the class of 1988, whose mother, Susan, extended the recognition on his behalf. Nomination forms for next year's Athletic Hall of Fame class can be found by visiting the Jacobs High School Athletics webpage.
Moving on to item 10, Superintendent report.
Thank you. Before we jump into a couple presentations this evening, I just wanted to refer back to one of my anchors of strengthening partnerships and to remind the community, parents, whoever has students in our system, in our partnership for safety, it is our highest priority. And as we continue to take every avenue of safety seriously in District 300, I want to make sure I open up that line of communication to remind you that there are credible situations that you feel may be faced, that your students may be facing in our schools, that we have our safety tip line available to you and our chain of communication on our website. And I would request that we, in partnership, remain diligent as we have wonderful partnerships with all of our village, local law enforcement, and other community partners that share our same interests. With that, it is highly important that I also ask that you have those conversations with your students about the dangerous nature of joking around about things like this, whether it's through an act of bullying or social media to do so. And so I just want to make sure that I speak tonight that we take safety as the highest priority, especially myself as the new superintendent to this district. That line of communication remains open, and that I'll be sending out just a quick, brief email just to outline some of the things that I've mentioned today later this week. Dr. Melanie Gravel, if you could come up to the podium to speak to us about our summer Read 300 activities that have now finalized.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, members of the board, and Board of Education meeting attendees. My name is Melanie Gravel, and I serve as the Assistant Superintendent of Early Childhood and Elementary Curriculum Instruction. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to provide you with an update on Summer Read 300. In its inaugural year, Summer Read 300 provided all District 300 students from pre-K through 12th grade with the opportunity to participate in a summer reading program that afforded them choice. For the first time ever, District 300 partnered with all 8 local public library districts that service the students in District 300, which include Algonquin Area Public Library, Barrington Area Library, Cary Public Library, Gale Borden Public Library, Fox River Grove Memorial Library, Fox River Valley Library, Ella Johnson Memorial Public Library, and Huntley Area Public Library. Students who wanted to participate in the summer reading program could choose one or more of the 8 local public library districts to register for their program while also enrolling in Summer Read 300. Students who successfully completed their public library summer reading program requirements were awarded a certificate as well as a t-shirt. In total, I'm so excited to report, 845 District 300 students completed Summer Read 300 program requirements. This program highlights one of Dr. Smith's works, strengthening community partnerships. The partnerships with our local public library districts and the District 300 Foundation for Educational Excellence resulted in 845 students ranging from pre-K to 12th grade having an opportunity to celebrate reading this summer while also earning well-deserved recognition. It was a great way for our students to get involved in school and community while promoting our strategic plan Goal 2A, ensuring that students attain and sustain grade level proficiency in English language arts. Oftentimes you might hear of a summer slide. This kept our students going, kept them reading and actually advancing in things throughout the summer. The partnership also resulted in our local public library districts reporting significant increase in their program participation metrics, which they were thrilled about. And in fact, the Algonquin Area Public Library shared that we saw a 27% increase in participation in their summer reading program. Those numbers truly highlight a win for all involved in Summer Read 300. In addition, Summer Read 300 provided a special recognition to the elementary school, middle school, and high school with the highest percentage of students successfully completing the program requirements. Before I announce the schools who earned this recognition, I would like to take this opportunity to thank and recognize the District 300 Foundation for Educational Excellence for their tremendous support of this program and for providing funding for the school recognition banners as well as student t-shirts. So now, I would like to review the schools who were awarded with Summer Read 300 banners during school visits this past Friday. We were joined by staff from both the Algonquin Area Public Library as well as the Fox River Valley Public Library during these visits. For our elementary school, we would like to congratulate Dundee Highlands Elementary School. Pictured here, you see these are the students from their school who were in attendance Friday. They wore their Summer Read 300 t-shirts. They earned this recognition banner for their school, and they were able to gather in the library to take this picture. For our middle school, we would like to congratulate Algonquin Middle School. These are some of the students that participated in the program and met program requirements here. And again, you'll see they have this banner for their school. And finally, for our high school, we would like to congratulate Jacobs High School for earning this banner for their school. These will be traveling banners, so next year they will have to defend the title to keep that banner within their school. We're very proud of all of our students and all of their accomplishments, and we'd like to thank the staff and families for encouraging our students to get involved in Summer Read 300. By doing so, there are so many benefits for our students, including the following that the American Library Association have cited. Encouragement that reading becomes a lifelong habit. Reading over the summer helps children keep up with their skills. Like we said, it prevents that summer slide. This program can generate interest in the library and in books. And it can just be fun and provide an opportunity for family throughout the summer. We do look forward to offering Summer Read 300 next year, and we're very excited to see which schools will earn our banners in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melanie. Next, we have Ms. Jennifer Porter again for an update on the master facility plan. And Kelsey will be joining her from Leggett Architects.
Hello again. Tonight, we're pleased to provide you with a brief update on the progress of our master facility plan, highlight where we've been, where we are now, and the immediate next steps in this process. Over the past several months, we've conducted thorough assessment of our facilities, gathered data on building needs, and reviewed remaining spaces in collaboration with our and consultants. At this point, we're moving to the next critical phase of the planning process, which will include further community engagement and refinement of the recommendations to meet our long-term goals. To provide more details of the work that has been done to walk us through the upcoming steps, I'd like to now turn over the presentation over to our senior architect from Leggett, Kelsey Jordan, who will guide us through a comprehensive review and discuss our next.
Thanks, Jen. Also, thank you, Dr. Smith, board members, administration, and community members for having us tonight. Like Jen said, my name is Kelsey Jordan. I'm a senior architect at Leggett Architects, and I am an accredited learning environmental planner. I'm one of 11 in the state of Illinois. So it's an honor to work with you and collaborate with you on the facilities master plan. So what is a master plan? A master plan is a 5-step process that involves assessing the current state of school facilities, identifying future needs and goals, and developing a long-term plan to achieve those objectives. We'll talk more in depth in a few minutes. However, the process started in 2023 with the gather phase. That first phase there in March, which remains ongoing throughout the whole process. In October and November, there will be 2 sets of engagement opportunities through the next 3 processes: envision, define, and consider. 3 in the middle. And then the last phase is transform. This phase is ongoing as it takes time to implement transformations. So why? What is the purpose of a master plan? Why do a master plan? It becomes a roadmap to drive the processes moving forward as it allows leadership to look at the district as a whole with a facilities assessment, educational adequacy assessment, tenure, health, life, safety input, and research. With all the information combined, the district's educational and operational needs are aligned. Therefore, ensuring a long-term sustainability and adaptability of spaces will support a growing student population and evolving community demands. What are the outcomes? A long-term prioritized plan. Having a plan like this can save the district time and resources when considering upcoming capital improvements and maintenance. Certified educational planners use their knowledge and expertise of educational environments and curriculum engagement of those environments to understand the utilization of spaces and provide suggestions on efficiency improvements as needed on a school basis, which is on the data-driven space utilization point. On the third point, the educational planners and architects are also able to provide recommendations for modern learning environments so educators and students have what they need to succeed. The recommendations also take into account using materials and finishes that support the facilities team while maintaining your buildings. On the last point there, the last outcome involves providing the district with stakeholder feedback that is reflected in the needs and priorities. So where are we? Well, with the current facilities, they've been assessed. Teams of architects, building envelope experts, educational planners, engineers, and safety experts have walked the buildings and sites where school was and was not in session to understand the state of the school building and functionality of the said building. Number 2, we are in the process of establishing optimal learning environmental standards. Number 3, we are also in the process of receiving feedback from stakeholders. This is a process that is always ongoing as we receive feedback while walking buildings, receive ongoing feedback from district leadership, and we'll be receiving more feedback from the community in future engagement sessions. For number 4, we are in the early phases of identifying priority areas for improvement based on facility assessments and ongoing stakeholder feedback. So again, as a reminder, the master facility plan is grouped up into 5 phases, and with that first phase being gather. So with this gather phase, the facilities were assessed by teams of architects, building envelope experts, educational planners, safety experts, and engineers. While the gather phase, like mentioned before, is continuous, it consists primarily of 2 processes. The facility assessment process, which assesses the existing facility, and then the educational assessment, which assesses if educators have what they need to succeed in delivering 21st century education. For these middle 3 phases, envision, define, and consider, we have some upcoming steps. In October and November, like mentioned earlier, we'll be continuing our conversations in data collection or gathering from stakeholders in the envision, define, and consider phases. This will include collecting feedback from students and educators. The community engagement sessions will help in the recommendation of prioritizing projects and identifying priority areas for improvement. This will then help the district in determining funding sources. For the envision, define, and consider, the October engagement sessions will be focused on envision and define. Here, the community is able to provide their feedback on their goals and aspirations for their ideal learning environment. They'll be asked to define their current and future places and space needs, both in a quantitative and qualitative way. This feedback overlapped with feedback received in the gather phase will be used in the workshops in November, which will focus on the consider phase. So the bottom image you see there is people working in the define phase. The top image is people working in the consider phase. In the consider phase, people will focus the engagement so that the stakeholders are able to collaboratively participate in solving a simulation of options. This helps to build consensus about future projects and transparently share information on the existing and possible future state of facilities. As another example in how the workshops will look, this is an example of the people at the table working together collaboratively on the Vision and Define workshop. What you see on the left are 3 different tables at an engagement session, thinking about what existing spaces they need to improve and what spaces they need to make to meet their district's mission, vision, and values. At the end of the sessions, we impartially quantify the data to inform the prioritization blocks used in the consider workshop. And as a reminder, it was that other image on the slide. There will be more district-wide communications to come in the future, and you can become involved by participating and encouraging participation in the community workshops. I hope to see you there. I hope to see community there. So preparing for these. How do we make it to mid-October community engagement start? Well, being here today is step 1. We are committed to transparency and collaboration. The first phase of meetings will be held on 4 different evenings at 3 high schools for a total of 3 Vision and Define engagement sessions in mid-October. The dates will come up in a second. And then mid-November. There will be 3 different evenings at all 3 high schools for 3 consider engagement sessions. This means there will be a total of 6 community engagement sessions to receive feedback. Feedback from the community engagement sessions will influence district priorities in a transparent, collaborative manner. So our last thing, transform is where you, as a district, are able to utilize the data and tools provided to transform your purpose into by selecting prioritized projects. So what you see in the slide is where this district on the slide has been able to do just that. The first image is of a dated library in the center of a school with little to no natural light. Through engagement sessions with stakeholders, this district was able to transform their library into a place that fosters collaboration. In the last image, you see how the books are pushed into outside rooms just behind the students. This created spaces for commonality for students where they were able to find their space, with their books, with their books. The space pushes innovation with technology on display and put hands-on learning at the heart. Here are the engagement sessions for that first section. So again, at each of the high schools, right at mid-October.
And just detail, October 15th, we'll be at Hampshire High School, October 16th, at Crown, and October 21st, Jacobs.
From here, with this, I'd like to say thank you for your attention and allowing us to present. Please allow me to clarify any questions that you may have at this time.
Board members, any questions? No, I think we're good.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We're moving on to item 11, public participation. We've had one person say participation. I will them, call you individually up to the podium. Please state your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please note the following. Each speaker has been provided with the guidelines for participation. Minors will be accompanied by parents and guardians. The board will consider your comments but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Questions raised may be assigned to the superintendent for an answer as appropriate. A member of the administration may reach out to the speaker to give them relative information or to ask for additional information. This is done to make sure the board has to properly address the speaker's concern. Changes, charges, complaints, or challenges against staff members of the district will be heard in open meetings and should be made in writing to the board and superintendent. We also ask that speakers refrain from personally attacking district staff or members of the board. Pursuant to board policy, this evening's participants must limit their comments to 3 minutes. We ask each participant to be respectful to all individuals who have signed up to speak and adhere to the allotted time limit. We also ask speakers conduct themselves in a civil and courteous manner and refrain from trying to engage members of the board in dialogue during public participation. Failure to abide by the board time rules or those found out of order by the board may lead to expulsion from the meeting. To be fair to all participants, thank you for your understanding and cooperation. I'd like to call Sarah, I think it's Paul, to the podium.
I think you guys already saw these pictures earlier, but I only have a set for you guys. So
That's
if you
fine.
want to pass them down.
Thank you so much.
All right, dear members of the Board of Education, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm a high school teacher in another district, and I have a son in first grade. My name is Sarah Paul, over at Newbert Elementary, along with 2 more children that will be coming to District 300 in the next 5 years. While this excites me because I love the community and district so much, I also feel very disheartened after visiting the park at Newbert with my family last night. I am writing to express my urgent concerns about the state of our playground and the inequitable practices surrounding its funding. As a parent and educator dedicated to the well-being of our children, I believe it is unacceptable that our playground facilities remain unsafe and underfunded. I also believe that it is unacceptable to have a remedy for this problem be to deny access to safe parks to our students. From what I've been told from current and former PTO presidents is that despite PTO efforts, only around 22,000 has been raised to renovate this playground, which is insufficient to cover even a single new structure in the playground. The central office and building and grounds personnel have dodged the PTO's requests for support, leaving our parents feeling frustrated and defeated. The former president called me today and let me know that there are emails and safety reports that were sent to the district without a response, along with an email from previous principals passed that the previous principal passed on to the district as well without a response. The current state of our playground poses safety risks, and you knew this already since it was fenced off today after my husband and I sent pictures and videos. It is very disheartening to think that we trusted school officials to make good choices for our students, and they did not decide to tell us it was unsafe until we emailed today. It was already coned off. You knew it was unsafe. It is also upsetting that my kids may not see any improvements before they move on to middle school if this continues how it has been continuing. That's a ton of missed memories on the playground that we all cherished as children. Next, I would like to understand how playgrounds are funded across the district. How are these funding decisions made? Why are some schools prioritized over others? It is crucial that we have that transparency that was just discussed in the last meeting or the last speaker, and an explanation as to why the playground and the community state that the community states is over 30 years old has not been updated or fixed. The playground is an integral part of a student's day, and to put the pressure on the PTO to fund this major project poses so many inequities. Schools with larger, more affluent communities will have an easier time fundraising. Are we saying that these communities are smaller and they shouldn't have the same thing as other schools in the district? I think we can all agree that that's not what we believe in. If we cannot secure it today,
Ma'am, your time's up. Thank you.
We've received these concerns and we'll follow up when.
So I'm sorry, again, Dr.
We've
Smith.
received these concerns today just to validate
Okay,
from the
and
email.
as part of that, can you, like, do a little report on the history of all of the playgrounds in the district and how, what the funding issues are and things like that?
Sure. Is that something that's included in the master facility plan process as a part of the strategic plan? Thank you.
Okay,
So we'll be
so then-
providing it through that process.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, board discussion. Any updates regarding the board? I'm sorry, that's item 12. Any updates regarding board committees?
Yes, the next board operations committee meeting is October 8th at 4:30. We encourage people to attend as that's where you'll discuss a lot of the items that we'll be voting on tonight in more detail.
Any other board discussion? Board members? No? Okay, we'll move on to item 13, consent items, less than 35,000. Do I have a motion to approve consent items under 35,000?
So moved.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
McKindy?
Aye.
Thomas?
Aye.
Zettler?
Aye.
Burkett? Aye. Marka?
Aye.
Ferrantino?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Consent items over 35,000. Again, these are items that were discussed in the committee meetings. We're not going to go into each one of them again right now. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items over 35,000?
So moved.
Second. Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
McKindy?
Aye.
Lamarca?
Aye.
Ferrantino?
Aye.
Burkett? Aye. Zettler?
Aye.
Thomas? Motion passes 6-0.
Roll call items. 15.1. Approval of the 2024-2025 budget adoption and resolutions. Do I have a motion for the approval of the 2024-2025 budget adoption and resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
McKindy?
Aye.
Ferrantino?
Aye.
Burkett? Aye. Zettler?
Aye.
Thomas? Lamarca?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And since we have a need for a second closed session, do I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing 1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, 2C1, 2, litigation, 2C11, 3, student disciplinary cases, 2C9, and 4, security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel to respond to an actual threatened or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property. 2C8.
So moved. Second.
Please take the roll.
Oh, was Ferrantino first? Oh, you were first. Okay. Thomas?
Aye.
Ferrantino?
Aye.
Lamarca?
Aye.
Zettler?
Aye.
Burkett? Aye. McKindy?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And I do not believe that there's going to be any action taken after this, so